How's your leg now?
Yeah, that's good, man. It's much better. I can't work out, but I'm back on the road, which is good.
Couldn't work out before anyway.
Speaking of working out, the fans have been asking, mate. The listeners have been asking. They want a dunk update. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just want to put it out there that I have very little faith that Bergs has been able to dunk. This is like England trying to win the Ashes. It's just not going to happen. Bergs. Welcome back to another episode of the Ben and Bergs podcast with your favourite NBA and high school dropout, talking everything crypto, business and personal growth. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back in the studio. We just had a guest on, Trey, so now we're doing just a one-on-one OG. Bergs and Ben, we're back together, mate.
Mate, I love it. Good to have you back in Perth, mate. Just sauntered in.
It's good, mate.
Yeah.
It's a bit better when we're in person because the roasts, there's no delay on Zoom when you're just roasting me, so I can just come back at you pretty fast.
Mate, you had the worst internet in Tasmania. So for those that don't know, half the time on the pod, I'm just sitting there smiling and nodding, and Ben's this little pixel that doesn't move. And I just hope to catch the tail end of it and we edit it all together. This is much better.
There's one episode I think you spoke for about 12 minutes whilst
he was in and out. I just went through it. It was the Bitcoin episode. I had a lot to say, so it was fine.
I actually joined back in as you were finishing, so it was great.
So Ben arrives in Perth. What's the first thing he says? Mate, it's so cold here. I feel rugged. I'm calling the ACCC. Misleading deceptive conduct
here, mate. You blokes out here carrying on about how warm it is. It was freezing.
Mate, you're in a t-shirt here. What are you talking about?
I did roll off business class in fucking hoodie and a jumper. I look like a homeless kid sort of rolling off, limping out.
Standard, mate. That's crypto for you. Bear market, mate.
Bear market. But we're doing a bit of a personal update because it's been a minute. How long has it been since we've done an update?
It's been a while, man. We've been very busy. You've been sauntering around in bloody Bali and had an operation for a couple of weeks. Yep. So it's been a while to recover from that.
Yep. So we're going to be talking about post-operation depression. We're going to be talking about some meditation, breathwork stuff. We're going to be talking about my Oura Ring. Bergs and I are going to go monk mode. Going to talk about that. Plus, Bergs is giving us a dunk update.
Finally.
Pay the piper. Has he dunked it? I still don't think he has. But anyway, we'll find out that soon. Setting a few challenges. I'm heading to another location on Tuesday, Bergs. Secret location. I'll be sharing that. And then, as always, middle of the week, meme of the week, and a few other bits and pieces. But let's kick things off. Mate, I had a double hernia operation.
Good on you.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
You were going to soft out of this operation. You're like, the business needs me. I don't want to do it. I'll be on my back. It's fucked. I can't do anything.
Well, I had softed out like for over a year. I'd pushed that shit back. I was like, fuck that. Like,
yeah, you're like desperately needed it.
Yeah, I know.
You've just gritted his teeth and gone through life without it.
So it was down in Tassie. Operation went relatively well. But I was cooked, mate, for a week. I was on the hard stuff, the drugs. I was on the oxy, whatever that. What's it called? Oxycodone.
Cooking, mate.
Yeah, that was I slept pretty well, that's for sure, and that stuff. But mate, just lying there, can't move. It was shit. Like, I tried to stay positive as much as possible, but literally it was just, I couldn't move my left leg, so I was strapped to the ground basically on heavy drugs, and just going from full steam ahead to doing absolutely nothing was a big change.
And it was literally the day before. Ben's schedule is just mental as always. Even just talking to Trace before, you are known for the guy that just like everywhere, doing everything. Your energy's infectious. You just go, go, go. You're doing that up to the minute of your operation, mate.
Yeah, and then post-op, I had some emails on my phone. I had to delete it. But look, one of the things, it was quite depressive. It was quite sad, actually. Like, after a few days, first couple of days was all right. It was like, yeah, okay, it's going to be cool. And then kind of settled in that I, like, can't walk or do anything. And
you couldn't stand up for more than a couple of minutes.
Nah, I couldn't stand up. I was hobbling around. It was really painful. After the first week, I was really getting, like, sort of batshit crazy. Like, I was, did the TikTok, did the YouTube, started reading YouTube. I was doing breath work. I was meditating. I was doing everything, and it was still like 11 a.m. in the morning. I was like, for fuck's sake. Like,
isn't that wild? Like, when time... So this is the thing, like with time, you can experience time dilation. And that is the exact one where you want to do something, like, now I'll do all these other things. You're like, oh, great. It's also for parents out there, when you're looking after a kid, you're like, surely it's 6 hours, and it's like 15 minutes. I've got another 5.5 hours of this.
It goes really slow when you're not enjoying it.
Oh, isn't it demoralizing?
Yeah. So, yeah, after the first week, started to get back into work. And I mean, coming back from Bali, coming into my operation, I was pretty worn out. I was pretty fucked. I was pretty burnt out. I was really tired, and started to even question. I was like, fuck, am I like really motivated to keep pushing to this bear market? Like, it's been pretty tough. We've been a lot going on. I started to question. I was like, do I enjoy this? Like,
yes, it's grueling. It's relentless. This is the conversation you and I had this week.
Yeah. It's like, you start questioning everything. You're tired. You're worn out. You're like, fuck. Like, you're not getting paid much money. Like it's just one thing after another. It's just like fire after fire. You're just getting tormented on Twitter. It's just nonstop.
You get ripped in the comments, mate.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Even by me.
Keep it covered. And then went in my operation and just basically had that week off. And I was really sort of like a bit of soul searching. And I was like, what do you do when you don't have work? I was basically a week, and the Wednesday rolled the following week. And I was like, I got to do something. Like, I'm just done. I've got to fucking do something. And started to get back on my laptop, started doing work. And I was like, because I had no meetings booked in. It was just open calendar, and I had my laptop, and I was just able to just go into areas that I hadn't had time to really do before.
And it hasn't had like free time forever. If you have like an hour or two, it's going towards a dedicated task. It's not just, hey, I can do whatever I choose for this period of time.
And it just allowed me to really like come in from a outside. And by the way, throughout the week, I had a list of stuff that I was like, fuck, I got to do that, got to do that. I was like, to-do list. Anyway, I came back, and mate, I just realized, as I started back working again, how much I love it. That week off, that week of not doing anything, reminded me when I got back into work of like, fuck, how much I genuinely love building, businesses, working with you guys. I missed all our team. I missed you. I missed the pod. I just missed everything. And being able to like get back in and have this like undistracted 3, 4, 5 hours of work time to get into the business was just like, I was like, fuck, it's so good to be back.
Isn't it wild where you start to think it's the business, am I doing the right thing? But it's actually you and your journey and how you're feeling. And it's your body telling you need a break. But you and I, fucking useless at having breaks, mate.
Well, mate, you told me this the other day. You were feeling similar way, and you're taking some leave next week because you're like, fuck, I'm just knackered. I'm just done. Like, you start questioning, you're like, fuck, do I actually enjoy this? And then you go through all these like mental, like analytical things.
We're so extreme. We're not like, I just need like a 1 week break. We're like, no, I'm done. This is it. It's all over.
But like, I think that was a big thing for me. It continues to remind me about that. The reality of trying to take that break and have that gap. And we push in our business. You're taking some time off, which I'm looking forward to you being able to do that, because you just get that mental clarity. You get that you get to refresh and come back and really focus. And that's been a really big, quote unquote focus for us this last couple of months. After I came back from Bali, there was a big thing I pushed to our team was like, focus. We were doing so much shit, and there was so many areas that weren't really getting that ROI, and I really brought that into my personal work day to day coming after the operation. It's like, let's focus on the number one most important thing that's going to move the needle. Like, what is going to move the needle?
You gained a lot of clarity from Bali, and then you extended that with the leave that you took.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that in our meetings as well. You're like, why are we doing this? It's just not going to move the needle. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
On that task.
Yeah.
Not waste your time.
Yeah. 100%. And I think that's going to be a continual focus for me for the remainder of this year, and also continuing optimizing. So another thing that's kind of off the back of Bali, really gone deep on meditation. So I'm back doing Vedic meditation again. So Vedic meditation, I did a course probably 2 years ago. It's where you have a mantra, and you sit there. With no audio, no nothing, and you basically replay your own mantra for 20 minutes in complete silence. And I used to do it. I used to love it, but then I got so caught up, I actually couldn't sit there for that long without Headspace. So I rotated to Headspace. Yep. Headspace has been great, and I do use Headspace still, depending on the afternoon, sleep, whatever. But in the morning, I've gone back to Vedic, and mate, I feel so much more calm and relaxed of a morning. No audio, literally just sitting there on my own for 20 minutes. I then journal, and then during the day, I'm adding in another 20-minute Vedic meditation, or I'm doing breath work. So today, before the pod, I went home and did a 50-minute breath work. And this breath work is basically hyperventilating yourself to different music, but then also holding your breath for about a minute or two at the full stomach and empty stomach for over 45 minutes. And you get these this sort of intensity in your skin, your body. Lack of oxygen. Yeah, lack of oxygen.
Your hands turn blue.
Yeah. You get these warm sensations, but really like you get, I sort of, in the 45-minute sessions I do, get in this sort of, I sort of transition into this really like nearly, unconscious or subconscious state where you go and you're not really conscious in the moment anymore, and you go through these sort of like weird sections where like for a few minutes you sort of just lose touch of reality, and you come back, and the energy and clarity I get after that and how calm I am, I'll be go, and I'll do this, I'll come out and I feel fucking sensational.
It's almost like your body's not there.
Yeah, you're just floating. Yeah.
So we're doing a pod. We're live in the studio, and I was trying to call Ben because I was here a little bit early, And I'm like, oh, okay, like, where are we going? Doesn't pick up his phone. I'm like, oh, classic Ben. He's probably on a call somewhere. Call him again. And your phone's weird. It rings once and then hangs up. And I'm like, so let's just go straight to voicemail. What is this scam?
So I've got it on Do Not Disturb permanently, yeah.
You should just go straight to voicemail. Oh, like, I think you're hanging up on me. I'm like,
oh, no, I'm hanging up, yeah.
So anyway, I'll walk through this whole building. We're in Vic Park, and I'm looking for the place. I'm like, man, ain't no podcast studio in here. And of course, a podcast place, they don't have a phone number. It's a great place. What it is, I asked a lady at reception. So I walk into a reception, and it's like a skin place. And they do like, you know, they've got IV drips. They've got, what are we drinking? We're drinking
9.5
pH water or something. You choose the pH on the machine. We don't know how it works. I've got a brilliant photo of you trying to use that, by the way. And then she goes, okay, the podcast studio's in here. Anyway, Ben rocks up, and I'm like, he's looking really fresh. I'm like, mate, where were you? You're like, oh, mate, I just had to smash out a 50-minute meditation. And I'm like, classic stitch up. But then you look really refreshed for having traveled here and got here today.
Yeah.
To wake up at like bloody 5 a.m.
Yeah, I was so tired, man. So I came to Perth, it's like 5.5 hour flight, crunched out like 3 or 4 hours of work on the plane, which was really good. Went to the cafe, got some lunch, crunched out some more work, but I was so cooked, man. I was like, fuck, I want to be just just disaster on the pod. So I went back and did this breath work, and yeah, it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just something about very relaxing. And anyway, that's just kind of continued. So breath work, meditation. I'm now reading, mate. Like reading, I read for an hour the other night. So I'm listening. I've got the audio. So for those that struggle reading or have ADHD or whatever, like I have the audio book that I listen and read at the same time. So finish The Way of the Peaceful Warrior book. Highly recommend anyone that's wanting to like just focus on themselves and just get a really good sense of you know how to sort of navigate challenge in their life. Way of the Peaceful Warrior was recommended to me by a business mate. You have to read it.
Mate, you read me like a paragraph from it.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like it's a more understandable, relatable meditations.
Yeah. So it's like it's a story of a kid that is growing up and he meets this sort of old guy called Socrates, and he sort of, you know, moves him through life.
You know who Socrates was?
I mean, I've heard of Socrates, but like I don't know exactly the backstory.
He was a Greek philosopher.
Yeah. So a couple of quotes here is like, you know, a warrior doesn't seek pain, but if it comes, he uses it. Everything has a purpose. Your mind is the source of your mood. First, realize you're in prison, then we can plot your escape.
Like this is proper Stoic philosophy.
The mind is an uncontrolled random thought bubble brought into the awareness from the subconscious. It's like...
So read that,
yeah, it's great. Anyway, so...
And the whole Stoic thing is like, oh, this happened to you? Great, use it.
Yeah.
Be at one with nature, the natural world.
But it's really like the biggest thing is around discipline and just being disciplined. Like, you know, stop doing those things that are, that are affecting your life. Just be disciplined. Be a peaceful warrior. Just go about and do your fucking thing. Yeah. You know.
But we lose focus.
We lose focus.
We get caught up with the bullshit.
I never said we get caught up in the bullshit. So I'm reminding myself discipline. Whenever I get on my phone, I'm scrolling, I'm like, fucking discipline. Fuck that. Put that down. What am I doing?
So you got to keep them. We'll keep each other in check.
We will.
Now, mate, you have to tell me about what happened. You had your operation. You had a bit of a thing growing, mate.
Oh my God. So I didn't shave for a week. And for anyone that knows me, I cannot grow facial hair to save myself. It looks horrendous. It's a patchy, you know, filthy looking thing. My family were even telling me to fucking get it off. And I jumped on a callback. So my first call back 8 days after operation. Get a call with one of our team. And the guy, I'm going to name him. It was Leon.
All right. Shout out to Leon. He'll tell you what's what.
I was like, hey, Leon, what's going on? And he's like, bro, you look like shit.
So for those listening, explain what it actually looks like.
So, you know, if we know where, you know, Hitler had his moustache just below his nose, I've basically got hair everywhere else but there.
You're the reverse Hitler.
It was horrendous, mate. And after sort of cop that from Leon, and I think I had some content to do, I was like, right, time to clean this up.
Your brother ripped you when I was on a call with you.
Oh, mate, he's like, is that Bergs? He's like, yeah, no, he looks like shit, mate. So, yeah.
The exact quote, he looked like Grandpa something. So good. So good.
And then the last thing, Bergs, I'm back on my Oura Ring. So the Oura Ring is a little ring that just sits on your finger that tracks your a range of different things, but primarily it helps you with your sleep. And I actually had it from about a year ago, and I stopped using it because the algorithm I felt was just shit. They had beta mode, So basically, on the normal mode, it'll tell you had a good sleep. You turn on beta mode to say you had a shit sleep. So it's like, what the fuck? What's the point? So I was like, right, I'm not using it. Yeah, it's a scam. This data's not true. Then they came out with a new update about a month ago. Read through the documentation. Basically, they were saying that it's the best algorithm you're going to get on the market, and this is the clinical tested to within around about 80-something% of clinical tests of if you were in a clinical trial, sleep trial. And mate, I'm hooked again. I'm hooked.
Oh, here we go.
I've got me. So, mate, I'm just going hard on my sleep score. So basically, it gives you a sleep score, and in that sleep score, it gives you a range of different things in terms of your total sleep time, your sleep efficiency, your restfulness, your REM sleep, your deep sleep, your latency, your timing, and then it gives you a sleep score, and then gives you a readiness score on the day, Bergs.
All right. So Ben, are you human optimization?
I am 100% human optimization. I'm like optimizing the shit out of this. Lights off. I'm on the herbal teas. I'm on the melatonin.
Herbal teas too.
Hey? Yeah. Okay. Amazing. Well, we'll have to talk about that later. The lights come off. It's an hour before I'm reading, going to bed. Temperature at about 19 degrees. Like an hour before, not drinking. Mate, I'm like optimizing the hell out of it. And my best score so far still needs work, but it's about 82 out of 100. But mate, yeah, I'm hooked. Because sleep, right? We spend a quarter of our, 1/3 of our life sleeping.
Yeah. Minimum. Because you got to think about the time you fuck around when you wake up in bed, and then the time getting to bed as well.
We spend a third of our life sleeping, and
a third of life our work minimum.
Yeah, and do you hear anything about anyone telling you how you should sleep? Like, no.
Isn't it wild?
A third of our life you sleep,
and it's one of the most important things for your health as well.
Isn't it crazy to think about our human bodies need 8 hours a day to recharge?
Yeah.
Plug ourselves in and recharge the batteries.
And it's gone. Like, if you look at history, there was a book by, I think it's Matthew Walker, Why We Sleep. Amazing dude. He's a researcher. Beautiful mop of hair.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, mate. It looks like one of those models. And he was like, yeah, back in the day, you'd sleep like 14 hours and it gradually went down. And even in the last 100 years, we've gone from, or 50 years, it's gone from 9 hours of sleep to an average of 7 hours of sleep. If the difference between 8 and 7 hours, just 1 hour difference of sleep, you have the same cognitive capacity as being legally drunk.
Wow.
Over 0.05.
Wow.
And all these sleepy people are going around. It is incredible. So, does it also tell you, like, you're in the top X percentage of people?
No, it doesn't give me that.
I need to do that, mate. That's the leaderboard.
Doesn't give me that. I mean, you can connect it with friends. So if you got this, like you and I could test.
Get too competitive, man. All right, let's do it.
But Berg's another thing.
Oh, here we go.
So I had a date on Saturday.
All right.
Right. I had a date, and and for all those single folk out there, hats off. It's a tiresome game. It's a tough game. Us single boys, we and ladies out there, we're grinding away. And I was nervous, Bergs. So Saturday rolls around.
Why were you nervous?
Well, it's a date, mate. Like, I was trying to, make sure.
Were you nervous with all your dates? It's just a normal.
Yeah, no, I get nervous. Right. Oh, you're a married man, mate. I just probably don't get it.
I know what you mean, but like, you've never said you were nervous before a date before.
Oh yeah, I get nervous. Yeah, well, I don't want to, look like a dickhead. And
this was why you didn't send your meal back in the day. Remember that? Like, remember you had a restaurant and your meal was crap and it wasn't cooked right at a steakhouse, so you sent it back.
Yeah. And because I had my Oura Ring on, I was checking afterwards. I was like leading up until the day, mate. Like my BPMs hit out at the top of like 130 beats per minute before the day, mate.
Oh, mate, that's like jogging.
I was sweating my pants, mate. Anyway,
unbelievable. So, how are you going post surgery, mate? You had a bit of a slump there.
Yeah,
how was it for you?
Yeah, still working on it. So they nipped the nerve in my leg. So that was another thing that sort of put me back. So I'm not working.
This is what happens when you go for surgery in Tasmania. They only got surgery 3 years ago, mate. They're not like.
They still use chopsticks to open you up. So
Matt and Lonnie had to go to like Hobart.
Lonnie, yeah. Same guy. I've had a hernia operation. Same guy. Yeah, but this.
And the other one was like what, 10 years ago?
Yeah, a few years.
Better this time, obviously.
He was old back then, and now Nah, he's good. He's a good fella. I called him up though. He was like, mate, my leg's sorer than my operation. Like, where you coming over? He's like, what's going on? I was like, oh yeah, we probably nipped your leg. Just a nerve, mate. Don't worry about it. You'll be right.
Cool. Watch his leg starts turning blue.
He's like, I got good beds for you if you need. It's gonna make you tired. So just let me know. It's like, cheers, mate.
How's your leg now?
Yeah, that's good, man. It's much better. I can't work out, but I'm back on the road, which is good.
Couldn't work out before anyway.
Well, speaking of working out, the fans have been asking, mate. The listeners have been asking. They want a dunk update. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just want to put it out there that I have very little faith that the Burgess has been able to dunk. As I said at the start, I wasn't. This is like England trying to win the Ashes. Like it's just not going to happen. Bergs. Give us an update. Where did you get to?
All right, let's remind everyone. So this was, what was it, a 4 or 5 month challenge by my mate JB. Actually, no, it was just a challenge. And JB said he would put $1,000, or maybe it was more than that, on a bar tab for Ben and Berg's people if I was able to dunk. And I think it was sometime in May. And let's go through a little bit of what happened. So I'm working out like a mad bastard, going hell for leather, doing lots of plyo, lots of lifting, and I got to a point. And that point, I was able to dunk a golf ball. So I was getting up there, mate. I was getting up there. So I would have had to have probably another 10 or 12 centimeters to dunk a ball. If you threw me a ball, I'd be able to tip it in. But what happened? Where did it all go wrong? Well, in March was when I had my nose surgery. So I'm like, fine, let's have the surgery, 2 weeks, no problems. No. All the fucking shit that you just said with the post-op slump.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
It was like at least a month of sinus rinses.
Yeah.
I couldn't even put my head forward. There was that much pressure. And the recovery from that was insane. He was like, yeah, after a couple of weeks, you can kind of start exercising. So anyway, 2 weeks later, I go back and I'm like, bro, I want to start lifting again. He's like, oh yeah, you can kind of lift light stuff. So how much do you lift? And I'm like, 140 kilo deadlift. And he's like, oh no. He's like, you can't even lean over. He's like, I was talking about like walking and stuff like that. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh shit. So the worst part is when you're at home, you've been doing something for a while and you want to continue it and you have a goal and you can't, right? And literally you are so fatigued. It is so shit. It was absolutely the worst. Since then, it's actually gotten worse. So I've been exercising. I've been going back to the gym, but we've been working shitloads, like an incredible amount in the business. Shoulder was completely fucked. Like this morning, I'm like, Ben, fuck off. I'm not doing the podcast. You can go suck a fat one. But I went and got a massage. Now it's all kind of fixed. I've got some leave chilling out. We talked about in the other one. I've actually started allergy immunotherapy. So I'm getting injections. Highly allergic to dust, pollen, and grass. Getting those absolutely screwed me. But here's the thing. I've joined a gym. So I'm going to the gym, not just at my house because it's freaking cold. Getting a PT. So I'll sign up tomorrow morning.
Good.
And this is still going to be my goal. So my goal is still going to be to dunk a ring.
Good.
I'm going to get back to exactly where I was.
Good.
I'm going to exceed that because I'm actually going to have someone coaching me now, and I'm going to hit this fucking goal, or I'm going to fucking die trying.
I love
all there is to it.
I love it. I think you've had some setbacks. Fair enough. I do give you the benefit of the doubt there. It's not like you just gave in the towel. You have had some genuine restrictions.
I didn't even tell you about my knees, mate. My God. So I'm deadlifting, and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm feeling great, right? And then my knees just start hurting, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Because all my mates have all had like ACLs. I've done knee operations.
It's dad bod, mate.
My knees just like popping and clicking. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? When I'm deadlifting, it's feeling absolutely fine. It's not straining. But then it starts to hurt, and I'm like, oh, shit, I'm going to have like fucking 6 months off. Turns out what it is, my wife diagnosed me, right? Because she's studying OT, doing way too many deadlifts, right? Because I'm doing 5x5 deadlifts. I wasn't squatting because my back and all that stuff. So overdeveloped posterior chain. So my hands are just fucking huge.
Oh, but you're press release.
So my quads are trying to compensate and they're pulling on my knee. So she comes up, she literally massages over there and she's like, do you feel better? And I'm like squealing when she's doing it. 5 minutes later, bang, pain's gone away. I'm like, you fucking idiot. So this is classic Bergs. Like, just jump in. I'm going to do this. It's going to be amazing.
I know what's best. You need to speak to Geordie, bro. So Geordie, like on when I was on my leg days, like it's just all legs, mate. Like it's just different part of the legs. It's like that helps your upper body. It's like all. You gotta talk to him, man.
That's it, man. I'm signing up tomorrow morning.
Good.
So by the time this pod goes out, I will have.
Have you spoken to him?
No, I haven't yet.
You call him up tomorrow. Yeah,
tomorrow morning.
I like it. So your next 30 to 60 days, 30 days, is gym and getting back into PT and working out.
Let's do this. I'm actually gonna. What I want to do every day, I'm going to meditate every day.
Yep.
For a minimum. If I want to set a minimum, it's going to be 20 minutes minimum.
Yep.
Because half an hour is a bit much. Like sometimes, you want to break it up, that kind of thing. I'm going to exercise every day. What does exercise mean? It ain't a fucking walk. All right. It's got to be something that hurts.
Okay. Every day, 7 days a week.
7 days a week. No fucking excuses. That's what it is. So exercising for me is going to the gym and lifting, or going on like one of those elliptical trainers or stair machines that fucking sucks, or doing something like yoga or body balance, because even though it helps me, it fucking sucks. Like that to me is proper exercising. Going for a walk or riding my bike or whatever, piss off. Not doing that. Or it's doing sprints with a footy, something like that.
Okay.
Doing that. So it's meditation, exercise. I'm going to read for 1 hour a day. And
wow.
Yeah.
7 days a week?
Yeah, 7 days a week. That's easy. And I'm going to journal for at least, I wouldn't do half an hour, but let's say 15 minutes a day.
This is big. What are you currently doing? Are you working out or journaling? And are you reading once a day now?
Yeah, I read every day.
Okay.
I probably do at least half an hour reading.
Okay.
Mainly it's before bed and then I'll just pass out.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I do that. I meditate daily.
Okay.
For about 10 minutes or so. Just a headspace up if I'm trying to transition from something to the other thing.
Yep.
Working out has honestly been about twice a week now.
Yeah.
This is the thing, like, even though I've had the surgery and it was 3 months ago, building yourself back up, my God. And like I was working out and I was building back up and then I had like 2 weeks off.
You just lose it all.
Yeah. And man, I was just banging out deadlifts. So it wasn't even that heavy, like I think about 90 kilos. Man, I was out of breath.
Yeah.
It was wild. It was just so taxing.
Yeah.
I think because the injections I'm getting as well, you get a bit of a respiratory thing as well.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to push through that as well.
Go, man.
Yeah. So meditation, exercise, reading and journaling every single day. No excuses.
Okay.
Starting tomorrow.
Okay. I love it. Okay.
What are you going to do, mate?
So I'm going back overseas on Tuesday next week. I'm heading back to Bali.
Oi.
I'm heading back to Bali. I'm heading back there for 3 weeks. Reason being is that I found so much peace and focus over in Bali. Now, unfortunately, I can't work out. I can't do ice baths just yet because I'm still post-operation. I've got to wait another 2 or 3 weeks. But for the next 3 weeks, I'm really going to... I've got this sort of quote-unquote monk mode. Now, obviously not full monk, but like I like this idea of, in my head, psychologically positioning myself in a space for a period, like a sprint, where I'm just going to go hard on myself and hard on work. So every day, I want to have minimum that 20-minute Vedic meditation in the morning, plus one more, either breathwork or Vedic in the afternoon. I want to do daily gratitude and journaling in the morning and also journaling of an evening. I want to read every day. Plus, in terms of phone usage and focus mode on work, really going hard on focus mode, using Brain FM, locking the phone away and just getting into the deeper shit, and really coming out after 3 weeks of Bali, really tapping into the no distractions, just being in a peaceful, tranquil place where I can meditate. I can sit in feelings. You know, when I was over in Bali, sort of some stuff coming up around like loneliness and like some of this shit. I just want to sit in that and really push through and just face all of that so I can really come out strong on the other end. That's the real goal.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
We used to do this on the pod where we set each other challenges.
Yeah, I know.
And we'd absolutely smash them.
Yeah.
And now we've gone full work mode.
We're going full in. Oh, we have, man.
Yeah.
This focus of ours we've been hot at it. And the last quarter, we'll do a business update shortly, but our quarterly, we're coming up to the end of the quarter now. We've fucking crushed it, man.
It's wild how business is crushing it.
Yeah.
And then like how I'm feeling and personally in health.
Just dropped.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, these are out of whack.
Out of whack. Yeah. So that's what I'm working on. We'll come back in a month's time and see how we go.
Fantastic. Mate, shall we get on to meme of the week?
Hit us some memes, mate.
Wow.
Hit us some memes.
So those out there, you might have heard a little thing about a little submersible, little submarine. So Ben and I had to spend about a good 10 minutes going through the memes on my phone. Cheers, Tezza, you're a legend. He's my meme dealer. And honestly, they were just too spicy. Like, they were way too spicy. Like,
it was too spicy for you and I, mate, let alone a podcast.
Oh, mate, like, you go to jail. So we got a couple here. We'll throw them up on the screen. First one is Hide the Pain Harold with a cup of tea. He's looking at a laptop. He's like, I'm done being an expert in submersibles. This weekend, I'm a specialist in the Russian military coup. And this is just hilarious, where I've seen so many versions of this meme where people, mate, on Twitter, they're like an AI specialist. And then all of a sudden they drop AI.
Yeah.
And they're like experts in submarine.
They'll be back to NFTs next week.
Yeah. And now they're experts in like the Wagner coup or whatever it was that was happening in Russia. It's like, oh my God, there's people just pivoting from one thing to the next.
Yeah.
Super complicated topic I know nothing about.
Yeah.
Absolutely hilarious. And then we've got another meme here. And it's my parents at age 23. Let's migrate to another country so our kids can have opportunities. And the husband's like, yes. Me at age 23. You can put anything in this air fryer for real. It's so good.
So true.
It's so good. Like you look at any nomad Twitter or anything like that, they're all like, oh my God, you get this grain-fed beef from New Zealand and you chuck it in frozen. So you do air fry, it'll optimize your time. And you're like, oh my God, the things our parents had to do and the luck we have in our lives today, we are just so fortunate. So they're the two memes of the week that I could actually show you because the rest
they were way too.
Oh, we're getting arrested. We'll get out of this place, mate.
Okay, meal of the week, mate. Yours is looking pretty sensational.
This was incredible. So shout out to Tashi. You're an absolute legend. So this was a Friday. And look, on my Fridays, I usually disconnect by making some pizzas, right?
Yep.
I'll ferment the dough for 48 hours and then I'll spin out some fat Napoli pizzas, chuck them in the wood-fired oven out the back, have a couple of skewies and just off to the races. Good disconnect before the weekend, right? So this one, it's a Friday and I'm like, fuck this noise. Like I've just had it. Ben's been in Bali. Well, first Ben was in the States and Ben was in Bali. Then he has operation. So I've been doing a lot more in the company. I'm COO now. I'm just absolutely cooked. I'm doing way too much. I'm like, fuck this. So I went to the bottle shop. Actually, I went to 4 bottle shops.
In a crypto employee, mate.
So I went to pick my car up, right? And I got to tell you about my car. So I take my car in for a service and I talk to this office lady and she's not with us. She doesn't want to be there. So anyway, I rock up to pick my car up. Wife drops me off and I open the office and there's a dog in there, dog jumping all over me. I'm like, great, whatever. Where are the people? Like, there's no one there.
There's a dog in over.
No. And I'm like calling the phone. No one's picking up.
You're in the office.
Yeah, I'm like, hello. Like, it's like, do not enter. So like I push through and I enter the door. My car's still up there on the thing. And I'm like, where are these guys? I'm like, either they've knocked off and gone to the pub early or like they've had like an event happen.
With
like
the doors open, right? You just want to.
It's unlocked. So I wait around for 10 minutes and I'm like, look, I don't know what to do. So call the wife to come pick me up again. And I'm like waiting out the front and the guy just goes by and he's like, oh, can I help you? And I'm like, what, mate, what the fuck? Like, where is everyone? I need to get my car. And he's like, oh, mate, we're just on the truck. There's this small like Snap-on truck that has all the tools inside and all the bloody mechanics are spending up all their money buying all the fucking tools. I'm like, for fuck's sakes, why have you got 6 people in there with the door closed? I'm running around this whole building going, hello, is anyone here? I need my car. Oh, my God. Anyway, so I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off at work. I've had enough. I've done too much.
Just throw the towel.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Work's great. People are great, but just work is fucked. and then anyway, so we go to Tashi's place. So this is so the kids can play. And she's like, oh, I'm making something. Oh, I went to 4 bottle shops on the way home, right? So I go to the first bottle shop. They go, and what I want is I want a really thick porter, thick as mud, alcoholic, or something like a bourbon stout, a fat stout, 10% stout, whatever the fuck. Give me one of those. Go to the first bottle shop and it's just trash. It's a liquor baron, so it should have good stuff, but no, it's in the hood. It's in like Kenwick for those people who know where it is. It's like where the hood. He's majorly the hood, right? And no, it didn't have it. So I go to the next bottle shop, trash, absolute trash. Then I go to like the third bottle shop. It was like BWS, again, trash. Then I went to this random like Thirsty Camel, which was in like Maddo of all places, right? Maddington, again, the hood. But this lad that was there, they had like the best beer. They even had Kentucky Breakfast Stout. They had a few other ones. And mate, I just got the best out. So anyway, go to Tashi's place, just get punched of these. Each can, 4.5 standard drinks. So, Brett, her husband and I, we just get on it, mate. Like, by the time food comes out, we're pretty lippy, right? Like,
yeah.
So anyway, the food comes out, and what is it? Amazing plate of nachos, like homemade nachos, beautiful, like kind of like chili con carne mix. Everything like the nachos have been put in the oven. Cheese is melted perfectly. She's made this amazing like guac from all these avocados, fresh cut up chili, sour cream, and a bit of coriander on the top. Mate, you know when you're really pissed off and you had a few beers and you just want some nice comfort food that just hits the spot? Mate, this was absolutely incredible. This was like a gift from heaven. Tashi, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, we go.
Loved it.
Looks good, man. Unbelievable. Right, mine's a little bit more plain and boring because I haven't been taking it's been a minute. I sort of forgot to take photos of my food. But mine, I stayed at Crown for a night. This is my first day out of Tasmania after 2 weeks after my operation. And this was pretty special because I just sort of sat down, had a wicked oat latte. You can see the love heart on there. It was one of the best oat lattes I've had in a little while. Little Pellegrino, kind of went all out a little bit, and then just sat down and read my book for about an hour, mate. And it was heaven, mate. I was just sitting there. I was relaxed. I was finally off my feet off my operation. And it was just one of those moments. I'm like, thank fuck. I'm back.
Those are the moments when I feel the most successful.
Yeah.
Just me and whatever task I'm doing, nothing else matters.
Doesn't matter. You're not stressed. You're just relaxed. You're not, work isn't buzzing you. It's just like you got your book, coffee.
Did you post this on Twitter?
I think so. I might have, yeah.
Because you're like LeBron, where you open a book and pretend you read, and then like everyone sees it, and you're like signaling to them, "I'm so smart, I read. I'm in a cafe, and I'm sophisticated because I got Pellegrino." Even though you probably just jumped on someone else's table that had it for you.
Literally, I posted on Twitter. I looked up like, fuck, I'm like the biggest wanker here. Like, looked at Pellegrino guy.
No, you look like a wanker. Oh, mate, that is incredible. And you also, before we wrap up, you told me about a little phone call you had, mate. You were at the airport.
Oh.
Do you want to tell the listeners about what happened here, mate?
So, listeners, typical Ben, unorganised, sort of just trying to cram too much in, fucking forgot what was happening, bit of ADHD, all thrown into one.
Just a touch, mate.
I'm on the way to the airport, got to go to Sydney. So I've been in Melbourne for less than 24 hours. Had to go one night, had to leave at like 5:30 in the morning. And listeners, I actually even packed my bags the night before. I was being the peaceful warrior. I was like, get this disciplined. Packed up, packed my bags, everything ready to go. Just got up and went to the airport. And on the way to the airport, I get this call, Bergs. I was getting spam. Like, who's this motherfucker? Who's calling me? I'd never answer my calls. As the call, Mr. Simpson, this is whoever it was, Dan, head of service here at Crown Towers. How are you, sir? Oh, I'm great, mate. How are you? Do you want feedback? Is that you after a survey? He's like, no, I'm actually after something else. I was like, oh god, here we go. Well, they reckon I fucking had a party or something. So, Mr. Simpson, just wondering if you had an iPad in your room last night to order food. I was like, yeah, I ordered to order my room service. He's like, oh, okay, because we don't have that iPad anymore. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, we can't seem to find the iPad, sir. And I was like, oh, okay. I wonder why that is. He's like, well, can you just check to see if you got it? Checked over my laptop bag. There's the fucking iPad.
You taxed the iPad, mate.
I've got the room service iPad. I'm like, oh, that's not helpful. He's like, also, Mr. Simpson, we've got something else. Like, oh, fuck, what else? You also left your suit jacket and your 3 shirts here. Oh, right, the ones I need for the event tonight I'm going to Sydney for. So I'm off to Sydney for an event that I don't have my jacket, and I've got the Crown Towers, ordering iPad in my bag. So off to a cracking start. Didn't have time to turn around. Just barreled in. I said, right, well, I'm not going to be back for a week and a half, so either charge me or I'll be back in a week and a half and drop you off. You've got my shit, so I'm going to come back for it, and I'll see you Sunday. So he's going to call me Sunday if I don't show up.
This is what you were saying, mate. We're like ADHD people get themselves into terrible situations.
Terrible.
So you just need to be creative to get your way out of it.
To be creative, mate.
It's so creative.
So now I'm bartering with him for get my clothes back and I'll bring his iPad.
Beautiful. Great solution.
So that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to our personal update. It was good to catch up, mate.
So good.
Yeah, I enjoy these episodes.
And we're going out for a very fancy dinner.
We are. Where are we going?
Kampai Yakiniku. So all the photos I put up about amazing sashimi. Salmon. You know where you cook like the really fancy Wagyu and everything? Like,
actually, mate, I had Nobu on Sunday night.
I've never been. I want to go.
Oh, it's cracking, mate. The kingfish, the cod.
Do you have the black miso cod?
Yeah, black miso cod. No, it's next level. Yeah, next level, mate. Even the soft shell crab.
Bruh.
Oh, mate. No, it's next level. You got to go.
Oh,
is there one here in Perth?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go. You got to go.
Right, man.
Right, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you so much. We'd love for you to share it with a friend. Actually, probably your friends don't probably give a shit about us, but thank you for...
But we give a shit.
We give a shit about you. But thank you so much for listening. We're actually, Bergs, we're coming up on 10,000 downloads for the pod.
Incredible, mate.
So it's been super fun.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? I don't know. I didn't think so. Anyway, we're pushing through. Thanks everyone for listening. We'd love for you to give some feedback. We've got a new Twitter up and running. You can tweet at us at Ben and Bergs on Twitter. But yeah, we'd love for you to share with a friend, subscribe so you get our future episodes. It's how we grow the pod. And we'll see you on our next episode.
Catch you later, champions.